Technically speaking, I ain't talking vegan when I said that I've been eating, making money on the side, but I use it for the main.
Now, today we're talking about really, and this is for motivational purposes, really how we got into tech, as far as myself and others on this Zoom call. We want to just share experience with you and how we got into tech without any experience, without any, college degree. Some of us don't have that. And again, just give you guys some insights and give you guys some motivation to keep going out there. As you guys can see on my screen, Black Women in Tech, I am a part of this group. And anonymous member had definitely had a nice post here about really just, wanting information of how did you guys get into tech, right? And I just thought this was such a good topic that I couldn't type it all, right? I decided to let's open up a Zoom, let's open up a meeting for myself and others to actually talk and give you guys the real. Now, I'm just going to read it really quick for you guys who are not in the Black Women in Tech Facebook group. So let me just go ahead and read this post for you. It says, for motivational purposes, I was hoping to start a thread for those who have made their way into tech or the non-tech side of tech with no prior experience. As someone who's not surrounded by many tech people anywhere close to tech, or many people close to tech, I find myself looking for real life stories about it. We know how social media can make everything sound easy and perfect. Can we mute here, please, you guys? Thank you. Let me finish. We know how social media can make everything sound easy and perfect, but I know it takes more than just a course. Fix your resume, optimize LinkedIn, build a portfolio, and make six figures. I want to hear from the real. What did you do? What was your starting salary or hourly pay? Did you freelance before landing a job? Contract work before landing that six-figure job? How long did it take you to land that first position, etc.? Let's talk about it, right? So this was a mouthful. I had a mouthful to say back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna text all of this. So again, here we are to actually discuss, verbally, our the real about getting into tech, right? So some of you guys may already know my story, but I am going to repeat it here. I also wrote a blog on it. And you guys are, if you got this link, then you're clearly in this Technically Speaking Discord. And this is how Technically Speaking came about, right? So let me go ahead and just give you a rundown about myself. Now, my name is Jessica KW. I've only been in tech since 2020, so that's 3 years. So I've literally been able to, grow my income from being just a regular. I worked in food service, so I was at Chipotle, at Benihana's, things and that such. And I literally went from like $15 an hour to a six-figure job in like less than 3 years, right? It was not easy. I'm gonna tell you that it was not perfect. It was a lot of self-motivating. It was a lot of self-dedication. Okay. So this is how I started. Now, I love food. I went to culinary school. Okay. I barely graduated high school. I dropped out for a year. Then I came back because my grandma said, no, you're going to get a diploma. GED is trash. I actually did get my GED at what's called Job Corporation. It was like a military school, I guess. But I went there, got my GED. My grandma said, that's trash. Go get your diploma. So she helped me enroll back in school. I was 18. I enrolled back in high school, and I ended up graduating and getting my high school diploma. Now, my first ordeal in college was I'm going to become a journalist because my I guess in school my best grades were in literature within English. So I just figured why not go to college for something that I'm already doing good in school for. So I went for journalism because, I wanted to write, whatever. And it was just boring. I'm just be real. It was so boring. I didn't even want to do it. And they told me that I wouldn't even start my actual major until like my junior year. So I was literally going to do freshman year, just really just taking regular classes, regular like almost like college classes. I mean, high school classes. So I didn't like that ordeal, especially with the amount of the tuition was. So I dropped out. Yeah, so I dropped out of college, and basically what happened was I was just really trying to find my way, and I decided through a lot of self-discovery that I love to cook, you know. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to be a chef. I'm going to open up a restaurant, open up a food truck, and just cook for everyone. And that's exactly what I did. I decided to go ahead and start me a business, incorporate that business, and start selling plates. Right. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was downtown selling breakfast burritos, and then in the morning I would host Tasteful Tuesdays where they would come over to my house or a kitchen that I had, and I would serve people. I would have them try out different things on the menu. And so that was going well. That was going great. Okay. And of course, I was doing little in and out jobs there, but I decided to never be an employee. I'm like, you know what? I need to only work for myself and I don't want to work for anyone else. So I quit all those little jobs and I only worked in my food. Now, I did work food jobs, but I also worked call center jobs, right? I also worked jobs where I was like Apple support. So, the 1-800 number you call Apple, that would be me. Now, I didn't have to have a technical background for that. That was literally pulling up a K-based article that they gave me and reading through that article to the customer. So it wasn't anything that I had to technically know about Apple. It was something that the job said, here is your script and read the script to answer these problems. And if the problems get too complex, then you need to transfer them to people who know how to do complex stuff, right? And most of the time it was literally just like, you need a new phone, you have to do a software update, like something very, very simple that honestly it's not a tech job, it's a customer service job. So that's really the jobs that I've had a lot between foods. And again, I decided that I just had a real terrible manager and I just was like, I do not want to be subject to this employment bullcrap. So I quit and I worked for myself full time. And that was probably about a good 9, 10 months before I went into debt, like hardcore, ran up all the credit cards, maxed out. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm like, hey, leasing office, can you give me an extension? Like, I'm literally like on my last leg. So instead of, excuse me, so instead of really just continue down that path and trying to get myself out the mud, I decided to go back into the workforce. But instead of just going get a customer service job or a regular food job that I'm used to, I decided to get something that's high skilled, a high income paying job. And honestly, I didn't know what that meant. All I knew was that I need to make way more money. So my goal was $20 an hour. I've never made $20 an hour. My highest salary was $15. So I figured 20 would get me at least to pay my credit cards off and get me back into my food business. So that's what I sought out to do. Now I went online and I went to what you guys did. I did Indeed, Craigslist, all Glassdoor, all of these job boards, and I was filling out applications. Now I found something that on Craigslist, my add you, and this was July, maybe August of 2019. Okay. So I'm going to say July. This was about June, July of 2019. I saw a post on Craigslist. It said, become a network engineer for $20 an hour. And I'm like, sign me up. So I looked at the job description. It just basically said, self-starter, just real like regular, things to be in like a call center job or like a customer service. So I had those skills. So I figured, okay, cool. Basically, they were saying that they would teach me how to become a network engineer and for $20 an hour. I didn't know what a network engineer is. I didn't even know anything about it. I just saw $20 an hour. That was my goal. I applied. Now, unbeknownst to me, they actually called me the next day and said, hey, we like you got you applied. They gave me like a little interview. And then I guess the interview was like maybe 2 days long because the first day was just trying to see if I really meant to apply. And then the second interview was to see like, basically it was like my mind, like how my mind operates. Because they gave me questions that were like brain teasers. So it wasn't right or wrong questions. They just wanted to see how my mind, how did I think in a sense, right? And usually they pass that anyway. They just want to see what type of person you are. So they was like, cool, we want to bring you on board. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. They're like, so training is in-house and it's actually in Minnesota. Now I'm in Georgia. So Minnesota is like a good 24, 25 hours away. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, so you come up to Minnesota, we'll get you a hotel, and you'll just stay there and learn and make $20 an hour. Now that sounds like a golden opportunity, but again, it's in Minnesota. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. What's going on? So I researched Minnesota. It's a whole bunch of people that do not look like me. I was terrified. And I found this on Craigslist. So I don't know what compelled me, but the universe said, girl, go. So I did something so crazy. I ended my lease and I didn't have money to end my lease. So they put me on a payment plan because I couldn't pay my rent anyway. So I was going to get evicted or I just end my lease. So I ended my lease. They put me on a payment plan to pay like monthly. And I decided to just go and ride up to Minnesota and do the job, right? So I got into the job and it was a regular job. Like they processed me, my social security, like it was legit, you guys. Like they really did have an apartment for me. I mean, not apartment, but a hotel for me, paid up. Like it was great. Now, my first day, they said that they wouldn't pay me $20 yet. It was actually no payment until I can prove that I can be a network engineer. So now I'm like, dang, the okey doke, right? But I could do this, if they're going to teach me how to become it and all I got to do is at the end of X amount of days become it, then cool. I believe phase one was 2 weeks long. Okay. So I had 2 weeks to prove myself to get some money. Now they still pay for my hotel and they also gave me like lunch when it was, lunchtime. They would pay for me for lunch. And they gave me gas money if I needed gas money. Like, they took care of me. It's just I didn't get a paycheck to pay any like my phone bill, my car note. Like I didn't have money for that. So I worked hard for 2 weeks. Now, in 2 weeks, again, it was really fast paced. They gave me, okay, first day is just, everybody's first day, just getting to know folks. And then the second day, and at least for those 2 weeks, we learned nothing but network engineering, like on a very high level, like CCNA stuff. Like, this is how you're going to configure this. This is how you're going to check these ports. This is security. This is voice. This is how data travels a network. I'm confused. I'm like, you guys are speaking Chinese. There's no way I'm going to learn this. And I really did try. Like, I stood up, I stayed in the office, later after 5. Like, I was really like studying. After 2 weeks, I didn't pass. They were like, no, you don't know anything. You're gone. You're done. So I literally had to pack up my bags and go back to Atlanta. But something, again, now I was in a car and I was crying and I was just like so stressed out. But, again, the universe was like, do not let this stop you. Like, do it again. Now before I left, before it was my last day, before they said, get out of here, your hotel is done, they gave me a deal. They said, you can come back if you get your CCNA. I didn't know what a CCNA was. So I Googled it and I'm just like, what the hell is this? And I looked at the exam topics. I'm like, okay, how long do I have to do this? They said less than 30 days, because that's when they do new classes every 30 days. So they say, if you can get your CCNA, then you can come back. Actually, they didn't give me a time frame. They told me just get the CCNA and I can come back, right? Or I could wait a whole year to reapply for the program. So I'm like, okay, I'm in Minnesota, right? And I have nowhere to go back to Atlanta because I just, ended my apartment. So I really have no choice but to study for this. So I went to the library every single day, the public library, the Minneapolis City Public Library. I went there from when it opened to when it closed every day from Monday through Sunday until I literally was like throwing up CCNA material. First thing I did was Google, what is the CCNA? Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is Cisco? Like, I didn't know any of these terms. Like, I didn't know what a server was. I barely knew what a computer was. I thought a computer was the monitor, and it's a monitor, and the computer is the big thing that's carrying around, right? I didn't know that the computer was the processor. Like I just didn't know the basic stuff to get me to be a network engineer, right? But I studied, like I had determination. I Googled every question that I had, I Googled. I went to CBT Nuggets and I signed up for their free trial because I didn't have money. So I signed up for all these free trials and I just, either like screen record on my little computer because I had a Chromebook. So I didn't even have like a full computer, I was all ate up. But I was on my phone, I was on my Chromebook, and I was just taking free trials, writing down as much information I can. I ended up taking because the library they have free resources like paper, pencil, and stuff like that. So I used that information to make like flashcards to help me remember because I was so determined to one get back into that hotel because they kicked me out. So where do you think that I'm staying? I'm staying in my car. So I literally had nothing else to do but to study. So I studied, studied, studied. It took me 3 weeks before I was confident enough to take the CCNA exam. And I honestly was like, if I don't pass it, oh well. It was just, I just was studying so much and I felt like I was just studying stuff that I didn't even know if I needed to study. I had no one to like go back and forth with knowledge on. It was so overwhelming and so stressful. During this time, I gained 50 pounds. I've been the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Like I'm 5'4" and I was 200 pounds. Like, do you understand what that was doing to me? I was losing sleep. My health was declining. It was so bad that it was like, I don't care anymore, right? Like, I'm just going to take this test. Whatever happens, what happens. So I went to the testing center and I took the test, right? I was taking the test and they give you a time. I think it's like 65 minutes you can take this test, this exam, the CCNA, 50 questions. And I took the exam and the exam shut off on me because I ran out of time. I didn't even get to finish all the questions. And, I was just like, my stomach was turning. I had like bubble guts. It was just crazy. Like, I'll never forget the feeling. And right when you finish the test, you get your results. So I didn't even want to look. I just looked down and I'm like, I don't even care. Like, forget life. Like, I was just so over life. And I looked and it said I passed. And I just was so overjoyed. The first thing I did before I even got my results was I emailed the company, the program, and I'm like, here's my certificate. Here, I passed my CCNA. You want me to email you my certificate? And the manager, the director, is the director of the company, our CEO, one of the head people of the company, well, like second head, they saw my email and was like, yeah, send me the certificate. Like, because they didn't think it was real because they said they have never seen someone get a CCNA in 30 days. So I sent it to them and it was just like the talk of the town. Like, this girl, black girl at that, with tattoos all over her, neck and face and all that, went ahead and didn't know anything to passing her CCNA. Now, there were people who were network engineers in that program that did not have CCNA knowledge, but yet they were out in the field making money. So it was really big. They immediately put me back into the program. Of course, I had to start day one over again, but I had way more knowledge than what I had when I started. I felt so confident and so good about myself that I was able to learn something at a quick rate that I started just intaking everything, right? So I started learning about financial literacy. I started learning about my credit. I started learning about how to develop mobile apps. I got into Python. Like, I just was learning every single thing I can think of in that program training time, in that 3 weeks being back in the program. Right. So I just was, because what I did was I unlocked a superpower. That superpower was learning information and taking information at a fast rate. So people learn what I've learned. It takes them 4 years. And at a fast rate, 2 years. I learned it in 30 days. So that means that you can do whatever you set your mind to do. So I went ahead and took that same superpower and did that for so many different technologies, right? So now I'm done with the program. I now get my $20 an hour. So my $20 an hour, they actually send me to Rhode Island. They say, this is your first contract, your first day as a network engineer. So I got hired in February 2020. I drove my car from Minnesota to Rhode Island. They gave me gas. They set me up with a hotel because they was going to get me an apartment, but I had to go to the hotel first. They gave me, side gas, food money. They gave me whatever I wanted, plus a paycheck. So I went to Rhode Island, and my first job was at a hospital. And I was a voice network engineer, so I specifically was dealing with their voice technology. And my first day, of course, they're looking at me like, you're young, you're black, you have locks, and you're tatted. Like, do you really know what you're doing? Like, they were really chastising me. Now I'm already nervous, scared, and got bubble guts because I'm pump faking, right? Like I only was taught network engineering for like a month. So I'm really like, scared on what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And I've never been in such a professional setting before. So everything was new. Even like how to communicate was new. Like how to use Outlook was new. It was so much. So my first week, they really just said, hey, I want you to update our certificates, our server certificates. So I had to make sure that the server was, had the necessary certificates for security. And like, I would say maybe my third day on the job, that's when my third day was March 13th. I think I started on March 9th. So March 10th, it was like a 3 days, maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday. That's when this whole, the pandemic started. And you know how it all started, guys. It was like, oh, people are falling dead on the floor, bat soup, don't sneeze, don't cough. Like it was just so much. We was wrapping our faces. We couldn't, police were out, people were rioting. It was so crazy that they sent me to the hotel and said, work from the hotel. Now, this is the first time that everyone's working from home on a grand scale. Now, I'm a network engineer. Network engineer meaning I need to connect the company or everybody to the internet, right? And then specifically, I have to connect employees to the company network. So I'm in charge of setting up this remote stuff. So I'm like, I don't even know where to start. It was just so much. However, since I was remote, that was my advantage. So I Googled the hell out of everything. Like they asked me a question in the meeting, I Googled that. And I was like, oh yeah, I played around with my knowledge as far as what I knew and what I didn't know, but I was able to finesse my way to still have a job, right? So it was time for me to now I had by this time I got a couple checks in. This is probably February, this is probably March, April time. So I'm kind of in my setting a little bit. I got two checks in. Corona's here. We're in the house. It's all good, right? So it's time for me to do my big project, which is updating certificates. I even called Cisco because I'm a Cisco engineer and we were working on Cisco equipment. So I called Cisco because that's what you can do as a network engineer. You have Cisco in your back pocket. So I called Cisco and I said, hey, can you just make sure that I'm doing these steps right? Because I went and I Googled everything. I was in Cisco forums. I was all doing all type of stuff, literally doing step 1, step 2. I'm going to log into the server. These are the password. I'm going to put this command in. I'm going to, what I'm saying? Like I really was very thorough with it. And Cisco had a documentation as well. They matched it up with theirs, and it was like, "This is good, girl. You are golden." And I was like, so I thought I was the SHIT. So of course I did my job. Once I updated certificates, the very next day at 6 a.m., my phone was blowing up. They were like, "The network's down. What's going on? What's going on?" So I log into work. Now I started at 8, but they were calling me at 6, so I was getting up out of sleep. I didn't know what was happening. The whole network was down. Now this is a hospital during COVID, and no one can make or receive phone calls. Like the phones are dead, right? The computers are dead, and I am the senior on this project. So of course I'm sweating bullets like what's going on? So we have to do like a emergency call to Cisco, call it a P1, right? So Cisco, they have to take us within the next 5 minutes. That's how emergency it is. And basically, they were saying that I did the steps right, but I didn't restart the server because restarting the server would have took those changes and made them effective immediately. So since those changes didn't go into effect immediately, the server just expired anyway and didn't renew, and they didn't have access to any system. So that's a rookie mistake. They obviously found that out and was like, clearly you're a rookie. So they ended my contract. Yes, I wouldn't say I got fired, but they just was like, we're not going to renew this contract. So I had one more month with them, and that was that. But I gained valuable experience, right? So cool. The program that I was in, they were okay with that because they already know that I'm a newbie, whatever, things happen. So they put me into another contract, still $20 an hour, but they put me into another contract. Now, what they did was they messed up and they sent me the original contract to me. So when I looked at the contract in my email, it said, I will work for $120 an hour. Now I'm getting paid $20, but the company really thinks that they're giving me 120. So of course the $100 is going to the company that put me on, which I get it. You put me on, so you got to get some money. But dang, $20, I only get $20. So with that, I just figured, like, you know what? If I can really do this work and it really is worth $120 an hour, I'm gonna go and find my own job. I really have my CCNA. No one else in the company does. So I'm just gonna go and figure it out on my own. So what I did was I went ahead, while I was still working this $20 an hour job, I went ahead and found another job. Now, in the midst of me finding this other job, it kind of got a little hazy with with the program I was in. They wanted to renew. They didn't want to give me a raise. Well, they gave me a raise, which was $30 an hour instead of 20, but they didn't want to, like, give me what I was negotiating for, which is my worth, which is kind of like half. I'm like, hey, if you're getting 100, I can get 50, or you're getting 60, I can get 30, something in that sort. And they were just like, girl, I put you into this position. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm still looking for my own stuff. So I redid my resume. I looked, and I landed a job. Now I landed a job as a system engineer, right, with T-Mobile. So it wasn't really networking, but they liked me because I had voice networking experience. Now, this was $40 an hour. Now, when I got this new job with T-Mobile, that was beginning of last year. So I was literally working for $20 an hour for about, well, they did up me, they upped me $5 every 3 months. So from 3 months, probably about four, maybe, yeah, probably about three, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 months is when they gave me my first raise of $25 an hour. And then I end up getting an actual contract that, paid more. And I kind of did a little negotiating thanks to my mom for showing me how to negotiate. They gave me, five more dollars, which was $30. So I made $30 within 1 year, right? I literally went from 20 to 30 in 1 year. And then I got another job within 2 months of that, and that was $40. So it took me from 1 year and 2 months to go from $20 to $40 an hour. Now I was chilling. $40 was a lot for me. I thought 20 was a lot. So imagine me at 40. So 40, I was doing good, doing all my good stuff. Now I'm getting even more job requests of saying, hey, we could do you at 50, we could do you at 60. Now I ended up applying to other jobs. And with staying with T-Mobile, I was applying to another job to where I kind of was working, both at the same time. And that kind of like, I wouldn't say screwed me up, but that kind of messed with my time management. And then T-Mobile was like, you know what? We're not going to renew your contract. Well, they didn't say renew. They just was like, we're going to calm down on the holiday right now. And it was like every so often they would come back and say that I can join. I still have the computer now, right? So every so often they would, hit me up to work a few months and not work a few months, whatever. But that was the end of that. And what I ended up getting where I'm at now is my first contract, which I'm not going to say these names because I'm actually working for them and I don't want to, get anything crazy. So I landed my first job with a oil and gas company. So that bumped me up $20 more. And then I end up getting another job because I'm into blockchain. That's been my new studies. So I got a blockchain job, but they call it a DevOps analyst. So I'm more into that position, which is a little more than my oil and gas company. And then I have one more position, which is just a regular like engineer, you can say, UC engineer, which is VoIP engineer. So yes, I do have these three jobs. These three jobs, I am a lead. I'm a senior position. So it doesn't require me to do ticket turning. It doesn't require me to always be on call, right? Well, I am on call, so I'm not always doing work. I'm doing project work. So I literally sit around waiting for someone who is a rookie to mess up the network for me to come in and fix their mistakes. And that's very rare that happens. So that's what allows me to have three jobs, right? So that's where I'm at now. Definitely I would say making six figures was, I would say, maybe a little less than a year ago. And I'm doing nothing but compounding on that, right? Some may say it's $250,000. I'm not going to say how much I make. We'll see. But again, a lot of this money, I funnel it to my students, I funnel it to my education, I funnel it to growing, I funnel it into building assets, I funnel it into paying off my debt. Like I'm literally doing what I said I wanted to do. Because that time I was in tech and I wanted to be with food, I just blew my money. I'm gonna just be honest. I was making money and I was like, hey, let's go here, let's go there, let's eat this. I probably ate my money. I definitely got into working out. I worked out better. Life was just better once I got my tech job because I lost the weight. I took all that weight. Everything that I gained, I lost it. So I'm back at my regular weight. I was able to, really have a better quality of life. And with me, I'm going to continue growing. But technically speaking, came about just that. It came to say, hey, I can do it. You guys can do it. I literally was at Chipotle. Like I was the burrito girl. Like I was literally folding burritos. So I had no tech knowledge whatsoever. And in 30 days, I'm gonna say more about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, because they did give me 2 weeks of exposure, but I still had 30 days to just learn with the little tidbits that they gave me. So I would say like 4 weeks. It took me 4 weeks to become a network engineer, right? It took me a year, maybe a year and a half to become a senior network engineer. This is literally unheard of. Okay. And I get it. Some people won't be like this. Some people won't be able to do what I do because it's a mindset thing. No matter how much knowledge you get, you probably will never be able to get where I'm at. Why? Because it's your mind. It has nothing to do with the knowledge. So, hopefully you guys can understand that you have to find out what's your why, and you have to be dedicated, because I can teach you everything under the sun. I can teach you every single move that I made. But if you are not dedicated, if you don't have your mindset that this is what you're going to do, you're not going to get it. Simple as that. It has nothing to do with college, nothing to do with networking. I did not rub elbows with anybody. I just started making network connections. Okay. Like, honestly, to get to where I'm at right now, nobody but myself put me in these positions. I did not have a family friend. I did not have Tech Recruiter online. I was not using LinkedIn. I literally was Googling and using determination. Okay. Now we have Chat GPT now, so there's really no excuse at this point. But I just want to let you guys know that it takes determination and self-motivation. I cannot tell you enough. I honestly did not want to wake up certain days to learn. I did not want to, just go through it again. Like I didn't want to do a lot of stuff. I was lazy. I was hungry. I was broke. But I did it. And that, I would say, 4 weeks of literally damn near about to kill myself, I'm able to chill for the next 2, 3 years. I've been chilling. I'm just now getting back to like, okay, let me get into my mindset of I'm broke and I need to get, because I have to get another cert now. I'm in blockchain. So I'm like, okay, let me get to where I'm at. So with that mindset, you really have to have, like a hungry mentality, because again, I've literally just been chilling. Like life's been great, all because I sacrificed social life, social media, my house, my health. I mean, I'm not telling you guys to sacrifice your health, but hey, how far will you go to get to the next stage? Okay. And you don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to go out and do crazy stuff. You just have to literally have discipline. Okay. I really want to share that with you guys because it's just crazy the things you can do when you set your mind to it. Okay. And as you guys come into my boot camp, the boot camp is not to teach you computer science. I'm not here to say this is how you code. This is computer networking. This my boot camp is to help you with your mind. It's to help you find who you are, find what you want to do, what you truly want to do in tech, and then go out and do it. I don't care what your real background is. I don't care how many kids you got in the house. I don't care your skin color. I don't care if you have tattoos on your face. I have tattoos on my face. Okay. So there's nothing holding you back but you. Okay. So yes, fix your resume, optimize your LinkedIn, create a portfolio, right? Get experience. But number one thing is get your mind right. All right, guys. So that was my soapbox. Again, I just wanted to really just put that out there. I love telling my story because I love helping people win. And when people see that it's inspiring, they get this little dopamine effect and they go out. But that dopamine effect really lasts. It's like social media. It should last for like 5 seconds. So you got to get out of that. No more scrolling, no more of that dopamine effect. That shit needs to last for like 3 to 4 weeks every day, Monday through Sunday, sun up to sundown. And if you can't do that, then then you just won't be successful. That's why there's only so many people at the top. That's why you say there's a 1%, there's 2%, it's 15%. That's why you're not a part of it, because you won't sacrifice what the majority of people are sacrificing. Okay, guys. Now let me just see really quick is the comments here, because I saw something coming through. Oh, you're welcome. Very welcome. Yes, yes, yes. You're welcome, you guys. Again, you're welcome. I just want to share my story. I can't type all that, but I can say this in a video, right? And for you guys to ask any questions about this journey. You can definitely go to the program that I went to. They are called Ashton Technologies. Aston, Ashton Technologies. They do this. That is what they do. I have two people in my boot camp that went to them. They went to the Minnesota site and somebody went to the California site, and they literally learned network engineering. And both of them did not pass. They got kicked out the program just like myself. But one young lady, I don't think she's in this Zoom, one young lady, she went to go work for Meta. Right when they kicked her out the program, she revised her resume and went to go work for Meta. So nothing can stop you guys. I'm just let you know that now. But yes, go ahead, Google Ashton Technologies. If you want, you can put me down as a reference. They'll hire you, especially if I just tell them to hire you. But shoot, hopefully you get past. If not, come over, join me in the boot camp. I teach the same thing, but more mental, because this is a mental game. Okay. I got my positions not because it was my background. My background was fake anyway. I lied on my resume. The whole resume was a lie. I'm not even gonna tell y'all, I'm not even gonna fake with y'all. My whole resume was a lie. But they still hired me through the interview. Why? Because I have great soft skills. Period. I'm able to talk to people. So I was able to, they can look over there. Oh, we'll teach you. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know it's okay. So let me see who's in here. Let me pass the buck, because what I want to do is give the floor to other folks who's able to get into tech. And just, let them just say their steps as far as like, hey, I don't have a college degree, I got into it X, Y, and Z, and this is where I'm at now. I think it's one very motivational for you guys to hear all different types of stories. Again, I'm just gonna be real. My story is like 1 in a million. So the chances of you becoming someone like me is slim to none, but it's not impossible. So that's some food for thought, right? Um, Let me come over here and click, let me unmute. I think we have Will. I think there's other people in here that want to speak. If you do, can you actually type in the chat just so I know who to put the you know, give the ball to when it's time. But I know, Will, you can unmute yourself. I'm not seeing any names here that, so yeah, just put into the chat if you wanna speak about your experience. But go ahead, Will. We got you.
All right. Well, first off, let's all breathe, take a woosah, because when I say just set the bar, there's really nothing else you should chase but her the way she did it. I'm gonna keep it real. I went through a program. I went through an IT program that was a 10-month program. But before all that, I had told myself one day, I was looking, I said, you know what? What can make me the most money right now that a lot of people aren't doing? I grew up with technology. I was a 90s baby. So I grew up with a lot of the ways things are now. I like iPhones, Androids. I grew up with that. So that's nothing. And I wanted to make, and this is where I'm gonna tell y'all, this is where I failed just starting off. I looked at the money. Don't ever look at the money when you're dealing with IT. Because the money gonna come regardless of what field you get in. That's what you need to understand. I don't care if you Google it and they say, hey, it only pays $50,000 a year. Yeah, well, that's that job that pay that. You getting that skill set, you're adding $50,000 to your platform, to your body, to your persons. And all you can do is add an IT. So that's where I made my first mistake. I chased the money. Man, I got me a job while I was in the program. They found me a job. I was working with, I think the company name was AbbVie. When I say I hated going to work, I hated clocking in because all I seen was them dollar signs. So I'm thinking, all right, bet I'm making the money. Maybe this is what it's like to make good money. You hate it. And I had fell victim to lifestyle inflation. I started making more money. Oh, bet I'm about to start buying more stuff. I'm finally getting where I was always praying about getting when I was younger. But it all came crashing down because I said, you know what? I'm not about to sacrifice my joy and happiness for 50 years just to get by or just to enjoy material things. So I've scratched all that. And in IT, believing in yourself is your number one. Because if you don't, there's nobody that's going to push you to make you want to. Like, that's real talk. So I told myself, man, I got to start from scratch. Like, I got certs and all that that's basically going to waste because I had to take a step back and reevaluate, why am I doing this? Most people say it's for family. Most people say it's for the money. Most people say it's for, something different, or I'm just good at it. But you got to want to do this stuff, man. You got to want, because the want is the motivation. The want is the determination. You want them Jordans, you're going to make that money. You want the Chanel bag, you're going to make that money. You feel me? Like, the want for anything pushes you beyond just saying, I got to do this. No, you want to do it. So you're going to do it without no problem. So when I look at my story, I don't regret anything. Nah, because it taught me, like Jessica said, soft skills and hard skills. Because me, when I was on my job, I thought I had to know all this stuff like in my head. So they was asking me stuff. I was troubleshooting, and they was like, hey, how do you, reset this, that, and the third? And I'm sitting there thinking I got to know these things, driving myself crazy. But then Jessica told me, it's not about how much information you know. It's about how fast can you find that information. We have Google. We have free search engines. Knowledge is free in this world that we live in today. And everything's at our fingertips. So if somebody asks you something you don't know, don't get flustered. Like, all right, bet. Well, as you're just making up conversation, but you're Googling exactly what they're saying, you just read it off. Because 9 times out of 10, they just want the read off answer. They don't really know what they're asking you. They're just following the script. They give you a script every job. They give you a script of set of questions and answers. Follow the script. Stick to the script. That's all they want you to do. And that's real talk. Like I said, man, I definitely, knowing what I know now, I'd be better suited for the job that I want to. Because I started in cybersecurity because that was the hardest part of IT, so-called by others, that I was actually good at. But I wasn't good at it because I wanted to be. I was good at it because I made myself. I was like, you know what, bet I'm going to dive in on this because nobody else could do it. I'm going to go in making 6 figures. Wrong mindset. God sat me down. Now cancel that. We're going to restart you. And I restarted. And, man, let's say the journey of IT teaches you who you are, for real, for real. If you got the determination, if you got the will. Because let me tell y'all something, everybody in here that got an iPhone or Android, if you ever reset your phone because it's froze or turn it off, turn it back on, you're troubleshooting, you're doing IT. Like, let's make IT that simple, because that's what it is. You know how to do something that your mother or grandmother don't know how to do. You know how to do IT. So don't feel like if you don't know a lot of the big words and language that you might hear through tech talk, that you're not welcome to this club or you won't get invited to the, forget all that. Man, listen, I started off IT by fixing my dad's phone, fixing the DVD player, fixing the radio. Like, my IT journey started with just me doing stuff for my family, not knowing that I was troubleshooting. That's the word for it. When I thought I was just looking out for family. So we all have troubleshooting background coming from this era and this generation. So understand, you're already skilled. You're already ahead. Now it's time to cultivate that skill. It's time to just, put your seeds in and sow it. Because everything we can do, we can get at our fingertips. We don't got to pay for nothing. College, yeah, right. 4 years? Nah, 6 months. I believe in myself. 9 months. I believe in myself. Hell, if it take a little longer, 2 years, I believe in myself. Like, IT is not a race, because let me tell you, the more you learn, the more they come out with. You know, the more they create. Like, IT is an ever-evolving field. So don't get caught up in you trying to know everything. Get caught up in you know how to do everything. I know how. You give me the formula, I'm going to give you the answer. And that's really the key to life. You know the formula to life, you're going to get the answer to life. You're going to live good. Because I promise y'all, like, I had more fun in my life making less money than when I was in IT. And I was like, oh, that's a little backwards, ain't it? But it's like, do not chase the money, man, and take your time. Like I said, Jessica set the bar. She set the bar, bro. Like, anything close to that, you've achieved greatness. Let me tell y'all, like, don't feel like if you try this 4 or 5 times, you keep failing, you can't pass the test. Don't give up, man. Reset, reboot, restart. Like,
Yeah.
I go by the 5 P's of life, and this is my closing. The 5 P's of life: proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you live by that, you won't fail, man. I'm telling you. If you prepare, you will be. If you prepare, you won't fail. You won't perform. You're gonna be on time and ready to go. And you cannot know nothing you talk about, but because you prepare for it, you better suited than the person that went to college for it, the person that their daddy that got him in this job for it. You raised better suited than all of them. So that's, man, just, prepare. If you prepare, just like when you prepare food to cook, if you got it all prepared, there's nothing, throw it all in the skillet. But if you got to get it out, thaw it out, season it, do all this while you're trying to do other things, it's gonna feel like you're doing a million things at once. So just prepare, man. Just, and don't let nobody stop you, because let me tell y'all, road to success, you get a lot of haterade. You get a lot of haters saying, oh, you doing the IT stuff, that fancy stuff? What you know about that? Like, man, ignorance is so much like a thing that comes at you when you start learning IT, because learning IT almost awakens another part of your brain to other stuff. So now when you see colors in the world, when you see images on the TV, when you see ads, you're like, bro, I understand what this is now. I know what they're asking for. It's almost like I don't know if y'all seen in a commercial where all they be in their brains poof and it's purple smoke. Like, that's what IT is, man. It's really a brain popping field, because you learn so much more about your life and yourself by studying about a computer. Something that's lifeless, you're learning about your life. So, but yeah, man, just stay determined, man. Determination is something it's said a lot, but a lot of people don't understand the how much it really costs to be determined, man. It is hard. It is hard. I'm talking about, especially when you're a black man, black woman, tattoos, no tattoos, dreads, no, man, what? I got all of that. And let me tell y'all, it is not easy. When I leave out, like when I be showing up the stuff and I be joining Zooms and I be doing all that, people be looking at me like, how you in here? Like, man, IT, it really gets you to them upper echelons. So don't let nobody stop you is my best advice, man. Nobody. I'm talking about your husband, boyfriend, mother, sister, brother. Anybody can tell you, man, you ain't cut out for that. And you should use that like, all right, bet. I'm going to bet on myself. We're our own lottery tickets, man. All of us. You're your own lottery ticket. Are you going to cash it in? You going to let it sit? Let somebody else come steal that money. So, yeah, man, that's my story.
Oh, that was perfect. That was beautiful. Yes, yes. You went through the same thing I went through. Like, both we're black. We don't have a tech background, and we just jump into the field like, what's up? And we jump into it by teaching ourselves how to get certified in a vendor certification, and we just went into it, and through all of the adversities, we just did it. So we definitely have it. Did someone want to speak? Is that someone who wants to speak? Let me go back to here. What is this? I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Chandrika?
Oh, hi. Oh, shit, I'm muted. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hey. Did you want to speak? Did you want to share your experience?
Yeah, sure. I'm at the gym, but I can quickly share because I just finished work not too long ago. So I'm in Canada, outside of Toronto to be exact. I actually saw your post, and I was so intrigued by it because currently right now, let me move from these people that are grunting. I work in law, and I work in court. So pretty much like a court clerk, legal administration. And I went to school for criminology, paralegal studies, youth corrections, and I worked with kids and adolescents and adults for so long. And I'm like, I can't stand these damn people anymore. So I said, at my other job I was working at a call center for a transit agency, like a government transit agency. I said, I want to learn coding. So at the time I was dating somebody, and his brother was a self-taught software developer. So he told me to take some classes through Brain Station and another place we have here in Toronto to learn. So I took a few courses and I liked it. I ended up paying for one during the pandemic, and I thoroughly enjoyed web development. And I said, this is what I really want to invest my time in. So for the last 3.5 years, I've been teaching myself web dev. I did 100 devs, which is another a free boot camp, a free software development boot camp I did, and I
Yeah,
loved
I know
it.
100 does. Yeah.
So I did that for a year and a half. So I was working full time at Metrolink, which is a government agency, and working at the port full time, and doing this full time. So it was a lot. I felt dead because I would work till like 6 o'clock, and then I had to go to a cafe to sit there till 10 o'clock, and drive back home to go to work the next day. And I was just like, damn, it's tiring. When I was working at the call center, in between calls, I would be doing like free code camps,
Ooh.
and like, yes, free code camp in between calls. And people really knew not to bother me. So when I was studying and stuff, they already knew, oh, Shandrika, well, they call me Shandy. Shandy is she's doing her studies, don't bother her. And I'm like, yeah, don't bother me. And it got to the point where I'm just like, I really like this. So I paid for web dev. I paid for a web development camp, web development course before I knew about Ginger Dev. That was like $3,000. I had to pay my mother back. And I signed up for Juno, which is like Hard for You, it's another school in Toronto. And I did another web dev program because I wanted to thoroughly understand it better because I felt like Brain Station didn't have enough like resources because I kind of just threw you out there when you were done.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too. So then I did another one. I did JavaScript, and now I'm like, okay, I like JavaScript better than actually just learning CSS and just like basic JS. And then they said, oh, you want to do a boot camp? It's really expensive here. It was like 10K, 10, 15 to 20K. And I said, I don't have that kind of money. And the cheapest one I found was in Calgary. But the only thing here is in Canada, certain parts of us are like behind. So Calgary is like 3.5 hours behind us in Ontario. So if I were to do in Calgary, I would be dead tired because again, we're ahead of them. So I looked and looked, scavenged the land of the internet. I saw Dion codes on YouTube said like, oh, look at 100 devs. So then I went on Reddit, did 100 devs for a whole entire year. I finished the program, but now I'm in a rut. I'm like, I have all this experience with building projects. I built my own full stack app. I contribute to like open source projects. I volunteer, but I just don't know how to step in and get a job. And I've connected with like recruiters. I had one nice recruiter lady look at my resume and said I need to change some formatting, so I did. But getting someone to look at me is to give me a chance to interview. That's where I struggle with. And I also struggle with like the technical side, like doing the technical section is where I freeze up. So it's kind of like, how can I just get someone to talk to me? Because I know what I'm doing. At work, we have a new system where we do for the course, which is we got it digital now. So I was just telling them how it's not secure and how certain items don't work and the drop down doesn't work. And I said, well, the back end is clearly not talking to the front end properly because some of the stuff don't line up. And she's like, why are you on the course if you know all this stuff? And I'm like, well, people in Toronto, they gatekeep a lot. So it's kind of hard. It's hard here, especially being a woman of color. It's even worse because, again, they're so like closed off. And then on the women's group, I made a post saying like, Canada sucks for gatekeeping, especially women of color, because it's so annoying. And then other people in Toronto started agreeing with me, saying, yeah, it does suck. And like, yeah, so here I am listening to you about cybersecurity because I have a lot of legal background and education. I figure I spent so much money on freaking like my criminology background that I want to utilize it some way. I have, but like working with youth, and I kind of hate working with kids because like they don't respect nothing. Adults are just they're just whatless and waste of time. So I'm just listening to you because of your story is inspiring to me because it's like I have a learning disability. That was my other challenge is being dyslexic and learning code and learning how to have to spell things properly, not get overwhelmed and not get overstimulated and feel like I'm not doing anything.
Yes, definitely. We're getting overwhelmed, you know. I am an art student, right? I went to a performing arts high school. Like I don't do anything with all this tech and all these numbers and stuff. So really going into learning network engineering was literally like learning Chinese. It was learning another language. Like I had to go back to like elementary days. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to let me just mute you really quick. This is how I'm going to learn. And it went from like, okay, I'm using a notebook and I'm writing with a pencil and a paper. What is a network? What is a packet? What does SSL mean? What is SSH? Like literally, like what is a server, right? Like what do they mean when they say client server protocol? What is a protocol, right? I didn't even know what a protocol was. Like you just don't understand the level of Googling I had to do just on basic, simple terms that you would think a regular human being would know, right? A regular, at least adult would know. But no, yeah, I didn't. So to help you guys with getting jobs, let's say you have the knowledge, just like, Shani here, she has the knowledge and she's trying to actually get into the position she want to be. The one piece of advice that I got from one of my recruiter fans that I will never forget is make friends with recruiters. Okay. You have to go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so important. Go on LinkedIn and make friends with recruiters. First, make friends with recruiters that look like you. If you're a Black woman, go ahead and start connecting with other Black women that are recruiters or they call themselves technical sourcers, right? Look for those, and then look for Black men, and then look for women, and then you can start looking for everybody who's not your sex or your gender, like whatever. So the biggest, again, this is the best advice my recruiter friend has given me, because I've used that advice. I've got my LinkedIn together, and literally I don't even apply anymore. They literally come to me at least twice a day. I get someone in my inbox saying, hey, would you like to work? Hey, would you like to work? So all of these jobs that I post in the Discord is because they're coming to me asking me for work, and I'm like, honestly, my plate is just too full. And what I used to do is I used to just grab the jobs and be like, I don't even care, right? But at this point, I really want to pass these jobs to you guys. But you need to have your resume, like the job description. So let's go over to the job description, right? Let's go over to your resume. If your resume is trash, you need to fix it. Your resume should look like the job description. If you want to be a web developer, if you want to be a game developer, an app developer, a network engineer, a system admin, a cybersecurity analyst, like the first thing is figure out your niche, right? Don't just pick anything out. Just like what Tommy said, what Will said, do not just go and be like, okay, well, I see that the money's in cybersecurity, I'm going to do that. Or, coding is where I don't have to talk. Don't do that. What do you really want to do? Okay. And then go find a job post that with that title, and then put that job description on your resume to say you do these things. And then boom, you know? Now that is the easy way. You got to actually talk to what you're saying, but that's that's the easiest way to get people to knock on your door. Okay. Let's see who else is in here.
Hold on. Hey, just to chime in and piggyback what you just said, a lot of the times when y'all apply to these jobs, they're gonna train you the first like month anyway on how they want you to do it and what information they want you to know. So it's not like as soon as you start, this is what you need to know. Like most jobs give you some type of training to know their system. And while you're learning their system, that's when you learn the lingo. That's when you learn, all right, this is what I need to know. This is how I need to do it. This is what I need to say. Like they're not just gonna throw you to the wolves. Some companies will, but most are gonna at least give you a month to really 1 to 3 months. Like this is your training period, and once you're out of training, then it's all on you.
Oh yeah. To add on to that, every tech job that I've been on, they give you at least 1 month to get acclimated to the system. So you literally is just getting paid for 1 month sitting on the clock. Now it's up to you to do something with that time. I would say study, study, study. Look into their system. See what language they're using. See what technology they're using. Google those technologies. Get that upgraded in your head so you can at least have something to talk to after 30 days. You at least know how to log into the system after 30 days, right? Because after 30 days, they're going to be like, why are you asking me this question? Right? So really, 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 take heed of one, just apply. If you know you can do the job, apply. And then once you get into the job, don't get overwhelmed, because they're going to teach you and they're going to get you onboarding lasts 30 days. I'm not going to lie. Every job that I've been in, I'm literally onboarding for 30 days. And that's why I love tech, because I get into a job and I'm chilling. Let's see who else here. Somebody said something. I don't know. I don't think I see your name again. But if you want to speak, just chime in. I don't mind. We'll probably keep it open for another 5-10 more minutes for you guys. But yeah, like I said, just unmute yourself, chime in if you want to speak. But I do have a boot camp coming up March the 28th, right? It's on a Tuesday because I like Tech Tuesdays. So definitely join this boot camp. The boot camp, again, is about mentality. How do you break into tech? It's not about learning a whole bunch of technologies, it's about getting your mind right. Right. It's about learning these soft skills so you can know how to pass these interviews and get into this job. One key thing that I love so much about the boot camp, what we do is we deal with numerology. I give you guys a project, or I wouldn't say a project, but it's more like, a little exercise to where you actually go and find your life path number to figure out what actually does my spirit, attain to. And some of you guys may really be good in numbers and not know that you can actually go to finances, or you're good in people and could be in project management, or maybe you have a strength of organizing and you could be a data analyst. You don't even know that about yourself. You're trying to be a cybersecurity analyst, but you're really a data scientist. So the boot camp helps you do that. We have an awesome exercise. And once you find your niche, it's go time. Like nothing can stop you. um, Let me see. Is that Kenya?
Yep, it's Kenya. Hi. Good evening. I'm calling from, or I'm zooming in from New Haven, Connecticut, and
Oh,
I am a
hello.
nurse. Hello, hello. I'm a nurse of 30 years, transitioning
Mm,
into IT. I'm currently in an CompTIA A plus program at my local community college. We'll be doing Network Plus with the bundle and AWS Cloud, and
nice.
just wondering, how difficult is it going to be for me because of my age to transition into the tech field? And do you guys have any advice?
Don't talk about age here. It has nothing to do with age, just like it has nothing to do with race, it has nothing to do with sex, right?
Okay,
It's
okay,
up to your own mentality. It's on your own mind. How
okay.
difficult will it be? It's how difficult you want it to be.
Right, right. Okay, I understand. Because last year I had a lot of medical issues. And so, I'm just thankful that I'm here and able to retain the information. But I'm just wondering, am I gonna have to dye my hair? Am I gonna have to get rid of my afro, and get a wig? And I mean, so I'm not looking so blackety black, and and up in my, Malcolm X, Nat Turner, you know what I mean? And so
Definitely,
and
definitely.
so I also understand too that people can probably pick up on my maturity, and I don't want it to come off as inflexible. I don't want it to come off
Mm,
as, matronly, or I'm not willing to learn, because I am willing to learn, and I love young people. Y'all are the best. And so I just was just hoping that you would give me some advice or some inspiration, which you have already. But when you say, don't worry about the age thing, just go in there and just kick the door in.
yeah, I'm gonna let Will chime in a little bit on that
Okay,
before.
okay, and I'm gonna put myself back on mute. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone.
No, thank you for saying that and being, the one to put that out there. Because I bet a lot of you guys have the same exact question. So go ahead and take it off, Will.
I was just gonna say that honestly, the best thing about IT is the less you know, the better off you are. Like coming in with a clean clipboard is way better than trying to learn it before you start it. Like IT might be one of the best fields to transition to because the less you know, the better. Because now when you learn and you figure out the way you learn, you know the way you learn, you're gonna learn information that you need to learn. Like somebody was trying to teach me IT that they didn't really know what they were talking about, and me soaking it in, I had to unlearn that and relearn when I got into that program. So it kind of hurt me, in the beginning because I'm taking somebody else's learning and trying to add it to mine. No, no, no. The less you know, the better because that gives you more to add on to. That gives you a clean platform. And also
Mhm.
in IT, the only time like you should be irritated with yourself because nobody should care about what anybody else feels when you're in IT. Like you here to make money, and if they got a
Yeah.
problem with that, they need to find another job. But the worst question in IT it asks is the one that's not asked. Like IT is all about information. I'm talking about you can ask the same question 10 times in a row for the same class. Until you understand it, these people get paid, or whoever that you're going to gets paid to help you understand. Make the people earn that dollar. Like when I was in that program, when I say I asked questions, so many questions. And it like the teacher started pausing, waiting for me to ask a question. And some people feel like other people in the class and make you feel a certain type of way, and it's like you got to get to a point where it's like I don't care what nobody else thinks or feels. This is my money, my education that I'm trying to learn and get. And when I got that mentality, it was all she wrote. Because then I started asking. The questions get better as you get more IT. The questions become more elevated to the point where now you're asking stuff that they ain't even think of. Like always ask questions. Always. Information is free. Ask those questions. Don't feel bad. Everybody in there trying to do the same thing you trying to do, make some money. So
Well,
don't feel
the instructor that I have, she's a sister, and she's also a middle school teacher for IT. And let me just say, I'm very disappointed, and most people are. We're very disappointed because she's not teaching us. She comes to class to vent, but I know this is not about that. But my question for you, but I'm gonna figure that out. Trust me, I'm gonna get what I need to get. But my biggest question is, you look at these entry level, like tier 1 support, desktop help, all those things, specialists, and they want you to have like 5 years experience in Jira and SQL and
yeah, that's
like,
all lies.
okay,
That's all lies.
Okay.
Listen, most
Getting
of
the
the
job is
time,
really how can you talk? Like if you can make these people believe you got this experience, they're gonna hire you.
Right.
Yeah. Most of the time, they're gonna hire somebody who's not even feeling. They're just saying all that, and that's like the perfect candidate. They'll never get the perfect candidate, right? So
Exactly.
they're just doing that to really like weed some people out of who aren't really not confident about themselves or such and that. Like I'm telling you, most of the jobs that I've had, like even the job I have now, like I do not fit these job descriptions. I don't have 10 years of this. I just told you my story. I started in 2020, but yet they hiring their job description for the post is 10 years experience and a bachelor's degree. I do not have a bachelor's degree. I dropped out. I barely have an associate's.
Okay. Because my thing is like, how do you even get your resume to them? But I guess you just have to craft it in the most beneficial, viable way so that the ATS picks it up and it gets to the recruiter or the hiring manager.
Yes. And remember that there are human beings that are reviewing the resumes. Like everyone says, oh, it's going through a computer, it's getting scanned. No, it's not. Somebody that is physically reviewing your resume saying yes or no. That's that's really how it's going. So I would say, let's say, for example, you want to become a system engineer. You would go on Indeed, look for a system engineer, and find a position that you don't mind working, that you feel like I can do this. Once you do that, I want you to copy those job descriptions and literally put those keywords into your resume. Like if they say you should have VMware SX knowledge, put I have VMware SX knowledge, right? Like literally do that. Now, of course, you're going to have to speak to it. So, go ahead and Google VMware Essex. You'll see that it's a hypervisor and it's just a software that lets you create virtual machines. So that's all you need to know. So when they ask you in the interview, so you work with VMware? Say, yeah, I've done a little bit. I've been able to, spin up some virtual machines. Yeah, exactly. I dibble and dabble with the other engineers in the team. And then they're like, oh, okay. That's all they want to hear is that you know how to speak to it. They're not going to ask you how to configure it. You just want to know basic stuff. Like, do you even know what VMware is? Like,
And or head over to YouTube and do like a whole weekend of learning, so then I can feel confident, in at least speaking to it during the interview. Okay, I'm sure someone else has a question. I'm going to get off. I appreciate you guys so much immensely.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
Yes, and I'm going to give you guys updates in the Discord too. I'm going to let you know how it works out. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Very, very, very welcome. Just remember, you guys, YouTube University. You don't have to spend hours on one topic. You can literally learn VMware in 30 minutes. Write it down. Literally take a pencil and some paper. Stop all this typing stuff. We need to go back. Our minds remember what we write. write down VMware Essex. It is a virtual machine software. Literally write that down. You will not forget it. Trust me. So yeah, again, definitely unmute yourself if you want to talk, but we have this boot camp. Please, you guys, if you are really having issues with trying to get jobs on your own, break into tech, or really just transfer from help desk, because a lot of you guys are really at help desk and can, for the life of you, cannot get out of help desk. Please come over to the boot camp and let me help you. Let me literally coach you. That's what the boot camp's for. The Discord is we're all learning. I'm giving y'all information. You giving us information. Like we're just all, So if you're like in the Discord, please put your questions out there. If you're A plus learning, network plus learning, CCNA, cybersecurity, any questions you have, you want a study partner, you need some, I don't know, just reach out. We will give it to you for free. But if you really want like me to literally, hold your hand step by step, look at your resume, fix your resume, plug you into my network, give you these coaching one-on-ones, you're going to have to pay. And that's in the boot camp. The boot camp right now is $400. For anybody in Discord, it's 50% off. All of my courses are 50% off for Discord members, right? So if you want to learn Solidity, if you want to learn JavaScript, Python, whatever, you can go to my courses and get them for 50% off. Now, if you're in the boot camp, you get every single course in the boot camp. So no need to get all these little mini courses like blockchain or Solidity or JavaScript, because I'm giving you all of that access in the boot camp. It's one low price. And I did that purposely because I kind of want to keep my solo courses on those external sites like Udemy and SharePoint and Skillshares. Like that's where I want those to be. So really on my site, you're really only going to see boot camps because it's all encompassed. All right. And no matter what you want to do, if you want to be any type of analyst or anything in tech, you still have to know how computers talk. So we're still going to learn how, data travels from computer A to computer B. You have to know that. Now, you don't have to know it in depth to where you're a network engineer, but you need to know how computers talk. You cannot secure a network if you don't know how computers send information. You cannot be a data scientist if you do not know how data travels through the network. You cannot be a technician. You cannot be a software developer, a game developer. Like, doesn't matter. You want to code Solidity and make smart contracts. At the end of the day, the basic foundation knowledge is computer networking. Like, I honestly feel like I was put into this position for a reason, and that's probably why I'm not in my food. I'm still in tech because I feel like I'm here to help y'all transition. Like I am here to help y'all break down those gates because there's a lot of gatekeepers. I'm telling you now, they will gatekeep the shit out of you. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to be your liaison to knock down that gate for you and be like, let her through. Let her through, boss. So wear that afro. Now, definitely make sure your hair is not blue and purple and stuff. I'm gonna just say that now. I would say dye it a neutral color just so you don't scare the white folks off. But keep your locks, keep your afro. Be you, be proud, but be professional. Right? Talk with manners, don't use ebonics and stuff. Do not say, like, don't use double negatives. Like, you don't have to probably go back to English a little bit because, we do talk urban. So you're going to have to, learn how to write in an email, hello, name, comma, then put your paragraph, then have a signature. Like, you got to get professional. And it has nothing to do with your skin color. It has something to do with access to information. We weren't taught this, just like we weren't taught credit. And it was for a reason. So be you, be Black, be proud. And another thing I want to give you guys before we end this, they're looking for minorities. Every company has to have a certain number of women, certain number of Blacks, certain number of men. So I know that it's a whole bunch of white men in these companies, but they have to legally hire your Black butt. So be out here and be Black and be proud because they just need to hire you to get their quotas most of the time. Like, she's Black, let me just get her, right? I mean, is that hard? Is that bad? Right? Is that like a bad thing, affirmative action? But the purpose is to get your foot in the door to do what you really want to do, to get this money and do what you want to do in life. If you want to make a career in tech, make a career in tech. My career is not in tech. I'm a foodie. I'm about to go get me a food truck. That's my passion. That's my career. This is only a bridge to help me pay off debt, buy assets, and work in my food business without worrying about my bills. Okay, that's all tech is. Hopefully that's tech for you guys. But if you want it, again, if you want it to be a career, I'm not hating on you. I don't care for all that. All right. So you're in the Discord. If you guys need the coupon, I think I gave you guys, it's early bird is the coupon code to get 50% off. If you're having issues, if it's not giving you 50% off, reach out to me, reach out to anybody in the Discord. We will help you. Okay. Make sure that you get in for $200, very, very low. My mentor told me to charge y'all $1,000. I'm like, no, they're broke. They're trying to get money. So I can't charge them that much, you know? So forget what she's talking about. It's low, low, low. Okay. Give me something for my time, which is $200 for lifetime access. We got students here that's been in my first ever boot camp, and they're still here, still learning, still in tech, and they're getting new information. So that's really it. I don't see anybody else that wanted to say anything. I didn't hear anything. Let me look at these comments here.
Hi, my name is Shauna, and I do have a quick question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, everybody. So I am actually in the group. I think you put out something in the Black Women in Tech group, saying that I don't know what it said, but it took me to something, and I went to I got a notification about Luma, and then I got a notification about something else. And then I think I got into the Discord, and then in the Discord, you can't say anything to anyone, and you can't reach out to anyone. There was a meeting that we were supposed to go to, and I could not go to it because the links that were given, when I clicked, nothing happened.
And this was links in the Discord?
Inside of the Discord, it was we were having a meeting, so and so, so and so, so and so, and the link that you actually click on, it never worked for me, and because that you can't send messages or reply inside of the Discord, I couldn't reach out to anybody.
That's weird. Now I do know in the Discord there are some channels that you cannot message in because they're just informational channels. There's just for me to give you information, not for you to reply back anything. But there are other channels that you can reply. Now, I do know that there is a verification process. So you do have to verify yourself before you can speak in any of the channels. And that's really just it should give you a Discord, should have gave you a bot. The bot is something, I forgot its name. But it's a Discord bot, and it basically just says you have to it should tell you on the I'm saying left-hand side in Discord, hey, please verify yourself. Why can't I find this bot here? I don't even know what it's called.
Let's see.
Launchpad probably is the bot.
Done reading, introduce yourself.
Yeah, take a look on the left-hand side, and you says introduce yourself. So can you scroll down? Do you see general tech talk, trading, e-commerce, money?
Yes, I see that.
Okay. If you click onto one of those, are you able to type a message anywhere? Or does it give you a message?
Let's see. General tech talk. Let's see.
Yeah. Go to general tech talk and try to send a message.
Okay, I see. I don't want to send a message because I don't have a question, but I see. It's gonna be what is she talking about? What is this? Okay, but I do see where I'm able to talk there.
Oh, okay. So yes, probably the channels above you, which is, like I said, the announcements, and there's some other channels that you will not be able to speak in because they're just informational channels.
Okay.
But scroll down some more, you'll be able to really, message in mostly every channel.
Okay. Now I have to get back to where I was. I am new. Okay, so I'll just go through and I'll try to send a message to see if someone can help me to make sure I have access to come into because I was able to come to the Zoom. The link would turn blue and everything. It was perfect. I just couldn't get to the last thing that we had to do when we did the Luma and all that stuff, and had to go through the email and stuff. And when I came back into the Discord, it wouldn't let me. And I did sign up for the app. I did Slack and everything. I have no idea where you guys were.
Okay. So we'll probably work together a little more on your access. Maybe we can set up some one-on-one time so you can share your screen with me and I can actually see what you're seeing. How about that?
Okay. That'll be perfect.
Okay, yeah. Since you can write in the message in the general tech talk, when you have time, just message me and say, hey, can we just hop on something really quick? And then, we can get to it, just so you have all the necessary information.
Okay, that'll work.
Perfect. And again, anybody else have a question before we end this thing? I think I've seen something in the chat. Let me come over here. Network engineering. What would you say? Network engineering is mainly project work that comes with a lot of downtime in between jobs. Network engineering can be ticket turning or project work. It depends on the level you're at. If you're tier 1, you will be ticket turning. You'll literally go into like ServiceNow or some type of ticketing software, and you will literally collect tickets, and they'll say something like, "Oh, Susan in sales department cannot, her website is load slow every time she logs in, or she doesn't have access to Zoom, or just something that deals with networking." And then you would troubleshoot that. You would call, you would message her. Since we're remote, you usually just message her. You would just send her a little email or send her a direct message to say, "Hey, Sarah, you still having issues with your website not loading?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Can we hop on a call?" And then you're like, "Cool, fine." You'll hop on, it's like a Zoom call, maybe a WebEx. It depends whatever the company's using. She'll hop on a call like this, and she'll probably share her screen and say, look how long it's loading my website. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I can't have it load this long, because she cares about time. And most of the time, you're going to say, let's clear your cache and cookies. Or you're going to say, how long has it been since you turned your computer off and then back on again? Or what browser are you using? Maybe that browser doesn't accept that website. Like, it's so many like regular things that's going to resolve her issue. Tier 2, you're helping tier 1, or you have more access than tier 1. And then tier 3, which is usually where I start at, tier 3, tier 4, that's project work. So I'm doing stuff like moves, adds, change, deletes. I'm over here adding new users, that new hires. I'm deleting people that got fired. I'm giving people permissions. I'm giving managers reports. And project work is like, hey, what we want to do is we want to add another server to our network, and we want to just say add another server to our network. That's literally like a year project, adding a server to the network. So you're literally there, figuring out what type of server, how much the server's going to use, and all this other just, stuff that honestly can take like 3 months. But with all these hands in the pot, it takes like a year. And that's so great, because there are days where you just don't do anything. And every job that I've been in, Fridays are learning days. They always say no meetings on Fridays. Oh, I love it. That's why I love tech, honestly. Let me see, raised hand. Yes. Just unmute. Is that Raven?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to ask a question. Well, first, let me just say thank you for your time and explaining everything to us. And I wanted to also ask about if we decided to pursue the Ashton route. Is that feasible? I understand like your story and your determination and everything, and that's awesome. But generally speaking, is that something feasible for someone who does not have any tech knowledge, or is there some type of prerequisite that we should have under our belt before we would try to go that route?
Yeah, you do not have to have any knowledge whatsoever. Now, obviously, they're going to interview you, and you do have to say that you know something technique, right? And we'll get you to that point, but you literally do not have to know anything to go to Ashton. Ashton is just very, very, very fast paced. Like, it's like I'm telling you, it's 4 years of college information in 2 weeks. Like, that is impossible. But People do it. And again, from my experience, when the people that I was with in my group, they actually had computer science degrees. Like, these are people who are not new. So that's, to me, I feel like that's why they're getting it and so quick, because they are not new. They're just having issues getting a job and they just need help. And I mean, of course, you're going to go to people who's going to help you get into that job. But honestly, you do not need to know anything. So I would suggest that if you guys do want to go to the Ashton route, definitely put me down as a reference if you want. It's okay. It's not like they're gonna pay me or anything. I didn't leave on them on bad blood or anything. We're actually cool. I still write blogs for them. So, if you want, you can put my name down. But if you actually get in place with Ashton, then just reach out to me and I'm gonna make sure that, well, I'm gonna help you, make sure that you pass this. So they're asking, because again, I went through the whole curriculum. They have the same shit all year. So they're gonna say, hey, configure this, and you're probably going to be so confused. Now, me, I had no one, but you have me. So all you have to do is come into the Discord and say, they're asking me to do this. And I'm going to literally give you my notes that I took at Ashton. I'm going to say, here you go, use this. And you're going to use it, right? Now, if you're smart enough, you're going to just use it how I used it. But again, I'm not telling you how to do anything. But if you do get into Ashton, please use me as a resource. Like, because two people went to Ashton and they failed. Just like I failed. I went back though because I was determined. But they didn't go back, but they still got tech jobs. So again, I don't want you to waste your time going to Ashton to fail in 2 weeks. So use me, use me, use me, use me, use me. Use me. I'm here.
Yes.
If you go to Ashton and you're not in the boot camp, I will still help you because you're at, you're taking a step to do something else. Even if you don't give me some money, at least you're investing in yourself, right? Disclaimer, Ashton, you have to go on site. It doesn't matter about this whole pandemic stuff. You're going on site. They only have 2 on sites, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and San Diego, California. I think it's San Diego or Sacramento, one of those S's. South Cali. So South Cali and good old cold Minnesota. So know that you will have to travel out your state.
Yes, ma'am.
To go there. But they will pay for you. They will pay for your hotel. They will give you lunch money. They will give you gas money. They will take care of you like your mama and your daddy.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah. Just use me. And that goes for everybody. Anybody right now in the Zoom. Anybody watching this replay. And I have Facebook Live up. Anybody in Facebook. You want to go to Ashton, please go in Discord. I will help you because you just don't understand. Like, I was like one of 3 Black people at Ashton. Like, they just did not have a lot of Black people. And I just felt like something's wrong with that. And the fact that we just don't have this information in our community, like no one's telling us how easy it is to get into tech. They're saying, go to college and get a degree and rub elbows with people. Wrong, right? Like, our community really is just lack of information. And, I think the universe put me here to make sure you guys get that information, honestly, because I don't care about tech, but somehow I was able to get so far that it's just insane. Let me see. I have another question. Do you have a resume template? I do, actually. Well, I'm gonna say template. I guess I could say template because again, no matter what you do, you're gonna send your resume to a recruiter, and they're gonna, if they really want you to win, they're gonna, revise your resume anyway. So once they revise it, take that revision and just copy and paste it for everything else. Yes. So that's what I'm gonna say. How long is the boot camp for students? So the boot camp is about 5 to 6 weeks long. Okay. The first 2 weeks, all you need to do is show up to class on Zoom with a notebook and a pencil. And you just need to just watch, listen to what I'm saying and write down stuff. That's all you're doing for 2 weeks. Don't configure nothing. Don't go down a rabbit hole. Just listen to me for 2 weeks. And then the 3rd week, we're going to do projects. The 3rd week, because at the end of 2 weeks, you need to figure out, okay, I actually want to do software development, or I actually like data scientists, or I like project management. You need to find who you are in 2 weeks. And I'm going to help you with that every day for 1 hour. And then after 2 weeks, on the third week, we're going to do projects in that niche that you want. So if you say you want to be a project manager, let's give you some projects to see if you can really be a project manager. These are real life projects. People in my boot camp right now, even in past boot camps, they'll tell you they're really working for my clients. I have a legitimate business. I pay taxes. I am a business owner, right? And my business, teaches you guys stuff, but I also have a business side. I have clients that need websites done. They need apps created. They need logos done. They need this. You can think of it. I have the client for it. So I put you in that place. I say, hey, come, since you want to be a project manager, come on and manage this project with me. I have tons of project work will never stop over here at Technically Speaking. So we put you in a project for 1 week. Let's see what you can do. Because some people, they fail at this because it's too much work. And that determines who you are, right? Determines your determination. So 1 week you're doing projects. You should be able to complete that project in the allotted time. And then the fourth week, we're revamping your resume. So where I'm going with you, we're figuring out what your resume should look like. And we're putting those projects on your resume. Now, disclaimer, some projects are not paid. So you will have to work. You will have to give up your time. You'll have to use your time and to get that work experience. Some projects are actually paid. We did have a web scraping project because of my client needed a lot of data from the internet. So I was like, hey, you guys, you give me some data, I'll give you some money. And you can probably scroll through some old Discord messages. I was literally cash apping people every single day, right? Again, it's under the table, so don't expect a paycheck. Okay, so cool. Now, week 4, like I said, your resume reviewing, we're rubbing elbows with recruiters. You're learning how to talk professional. We're doing interview prep, all that good stuff. Week 5 and week 6, we're literally just job hunting. Now, week 5 and week 6, you should be interning because this is where we put this on your resume that you did an internship for Technically Speaking LLC, because I am a legitimate company they can literally research me and see what I got going on, right? So you really put that on your resume and you're really doing work for me within, week 4, 5, and 6. That's really what you're doing. And again, through that time, we're just building your confidence, building your resume, having you rub elbows with people on LinkedIn and stuff. I'm giving you, my connects. I'm blasting your resume out. Like, we're just footworking. Again, you're working, you're real deal tech working. If you want to be a game developer, we have a client that needs a game, right? We have a couple people that's working on it. So please help us. If you want to be a mobile app developer, we literally have a client. Like some people probably right now in here that's probably working on this app with my client. Rex, I shouted him out not too long ago. He works on almost every project with my clients, and he's so awesome. So, this can, either turn into some real money for you guys because I'm a real business. And if you do real good, we can actually hire you. Or it's just a stepping stone to say, I did a little tech, now bust open the doors to a Fortune 500 company and actually give me a salary. I'm still a small business, so I can't pay everybody their salaries, right? But what I can do is if you help me, I can help you. And if you help me so well, that can turn into a paid position. Again, I have 2 people on my payroll because they help me so well. Like, I don't have to micromanage them. They already are self-starters. They're already doing the work. They're even telling me what I should do. So obviously you should get some money for that. But again, I'm not here to hire y'all. I'm here to help y'all get to tech. Okay? Get into the tech doors and make 6 figures. I need everybody to make 6 figures. 6 figures is the minimum. In 2023, everyone should be making 6 figures. Okay? So that's the boot camp. I gave you guys kind of, how long the boot camp. But again, that's 6 weeks of a lot. But you have the content. Forever you have this private Discord channel where you're a part of, and you can forever count on us to help you. So if we could put you in a position and you're like, goodness, this is a lot. Maybe I don't know what to do, or maybe I'm overwhelmed. Reach out in the Discord. We're going to help you while you're on the job. If you have a question, I can give you on the job help. Because it's that serious. I'm really not lying to you guys. You can talk to any of my old students. I need to get old girl that went to Meta, because I just love that she hated Meta though, just to be honest. She said that was the worst job ever. They overworked her and it was just terrible. Yes, she made money and yes, she worked for Meta, but the hell? So I told her, like, go ahead, find somewhere else. Let me see. Imposter syndrome. Ooh, yes, I have that. I have that still today. I'll be like, damn, do I know what I'm doing? But again, hey, they hired me, so I just keep moving. But imposter syndrome is true. Somebody told me to go make a big purchase, and then I won't feel like an imposter because I have the money and I've made the money. Um, I'll think about that. Right now, I'm paying like 2 rents. I got so many bills because that's what happens when Black folks get money. They start upping their bills like a dummy. I have one corner now. He told me the hoes find a job, copy and paste. There you go. Copy and copy and copy and paste. I'm about to skate. Y'all have a good day. Good day. Good day. He probably left already. Do you share resources to become a sales engineer or a SaaS sales rep? I do have some resources for sales engineering. I think I shared them in Discord, but I will share more. I don't think I should make a disc. I should make a separate channel for that. That's what I'm going to do. I'll probably make a separate channel for sales engineering. So I know a lot of guys want to do like tech sales. So I'll just put a whole bunch of information in there. A SaaS rep. So just know that you actually are selling technology. So the folks who are introverts, sales engineering probably won't be for you. Just FYI. Let's see, is there a certain age you have to be? I have a 6-year-old that's not interested in college but likes video. Man, as a 16-year-old, this is the best time. Go ahead and put that 6-year-old in the boot camp or just in the Discord. If your 6-year-old actually has the determination to learn, then I mean, by the time they turn 18, their first job can be in tech, right? By the time they turn 25, they're definitely making 6 figures, if not $250,000, which is 250K, which is honestly not that hard to attain, right? I work with people all the time whose salaries is 250K, and their titles are engineers. So set your 16-year up for success. Go ahead. I think I have right now. I have a 17-year-old, and I think she's about to be 14, maybe 15. Hell, she could be 16. I don't know, but I have 2 teenagers in my course anyway, right? So age does not matter, right? Whoever, doesn't matter. Come on over and get this work. Okay? It's a new world out here. All right? And we about to make it black. Okay? Technically speaking, about to make it black. All right, so that's it. That's all the questions that was here. I think I answered everybody. I hope I answered everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining and just hearing me and my story and me rant. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for just joining the Discord. All I want is a community of tech people. I want a Black community to come together and be nerds, okay? Like cool nerds at that, because we Blacks, we got a little seasoning salt on our stuff. We got a little flavor. So go ahead, let's add some flavor to the tech world. Let's just change what the face of tech is, right? We have afros, we have locks, and we have tattoos. All right. So see y'all later. I usually try to, put out Zooms here and there, just of random classes, because I do brain dumps. A lot of times it's too much in my brain. I just like to dump it out on you guys. So join one of our random classes that I drop. Also, can you or your son, can you do Coursera? I think it's Coursera, whatever, for free. Yeah, I mean, listen, the internet is at your disposal. Okay. I don't care if you don't have a computer, you have an iPhone, you have a smart device. Most of these televisions get on the internet. Come on now, there's no excuses. No matter how old you are, no matter if you're disabled, no matter what your skin color is, no matter what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Like, you put your own barrier on yourself. Okay. So yeah, Udemy, freaking Coursera, LinkedIn Learning. Oh, LinkedIn Learning. Don't sleep on that. Just pay for 1 month. Okay. And if you pay for 1 month, I think it's like $40. You can cancel and then they'll give you 50% off for two months. Utilize that right there and start getting certified, because when they see those LinkedIn certs under your resume on LinkedIn, then it's like, oh, I like that, And sometimes I just go through it. I ain't gonna lie. Because I already have JavaScript knowledge, but I don't have a JavaScript certificate. So I probably just get a link, get a course, click through that mug, complete it. I get the certification. It's on my LinkedIn. And everybody like, oh, JavaScript. And I did that in 1 hour. So You know, I like the term fake it till you make it. You know, some people say, don't, you actually have to know the information. And you do, but it's so much out here, so many different ways that a company handles JavaScript, so many ways a company handles a network engineer or Cisco or AWS that honestly you won't know until you get to that job. So if you know the basics, if you know how to get to an answer, Google, then you're successful. Okay. My favorite term is GTS. Google that shit. Okay. Anytime somebody asks me something, they say, "Hey, what does, let's just any old acronym. What does CUCM means?" Google that shit. Like sometimes we gotta, it takes the same amount of energy to ask what this acronym is, same amount of energy to go and Google what this is. Now, if you say, "Hey, what does CUCM stand for?" Because I thought it had to do with this, but when I looked it up, it said that. That's a good question, because you did look it up and you have conflicting information. So you're asking the expert, you know. You really just got to be a little self-sufficient, y'all. Come on. And that's what's wrong with our community. We think it's supposed to be easy. We think people supposed to hand it to us. Like, it doesn't matter what I give you. It's up to you and your own determination. Okay, they don't really want teens, but y'all probably talking to each other because I'm all in y'all conversation. But anyway, I'm out. Please, 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 you guys, do not let this time go to waste. We are really transitioning over. Tech is doing nothing but ever evolving. Get in now. You should have got in 2 years ago, but there's still time. There's still time for you to get in on the back end, squeeze yourself in, and make some real hardcore money. Imagine every 2 weeks getting a tax refund check, like dependence tax refund check. Like I claim 2 kids tax refund after taxes. Like changed my life, and I want to change y'all's. So good night,
When
guys.
is your next boot camp starting?
My boot camp starts on March the 28th. So next week, next Tuesday.
Okay, great.
I'll send the link out in Discord. I'll tag everybody. So you guys want to jump in, jump in.
Great, thank you.
Very, very welcome. So no one else have questions? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See you guys next time.